my brain kept telling me like, don't have 3, like it's gonna be a lot. Brielle, and it was 100% right. Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Olivia. This is Brielle. I had everything set up for this Q&A that I had literally been trying to do for probably 2 months now. She was napping, and she always naps like 2 hours in the morning, and I had everything set up. I thought, oh my gosh, finally I have a moment to sit down. I actually really don't have a moment. I just was like, sit down and do this. And then, I'm not even kidding, as soon as I got everything set up, she started crying. So I'm like, you know what, forget it. I'm just gonna bring her in here, feed her her bottle. It's my camera's on a tripod, so I can't really like let her play, 'cause she'll just knock it down. So I don't know how this is gonna go, but I'm gonna start it. Maybe I'll finish it later, but I've got to do this because I've promised you guys this on my Instagram for months, and it just hasn't happened. So she's just gonna enjoy her bottle. Why I was gonna enjoy my coffee while I did this, but I just won't. So anyway, that is just life. So like I said, if you're new, my name is Olivia. I'm a mom of 3. One's in first, gosh, now he's in 1st grade. And then one is in pre-K, and then this one is 11 months. She'll be a year, I cannot believe it, in a month, which I need to start planning her party. Just add it to my to-do list. So I'm gonna do a Q&A today. I've asked you guys some questions on Instagram, and I got some really good questions, so I thought that I would just answer them for you. A lot, like about half of them were budgeting questions. She's eyeing my coffee, so I'm gonna have to move this because she will take it down, as well as this flower vase. Just real mom life right here. Probably won't even edit any of this out, so you feel better about yourself. But anyway, so where was I? I don't even know. I'm gonna do a Q&A, and half of these questions are budgeting, so I'm going to do all the personal ones first, and then I will go into the budgeting. In case I don't get into it, then I can do like a separate budgeting Q&A. Let's just get to it. The first one, I wanted to start off with this one, especially like as my day is going, because it's just ironic. The first one was, how do you do it all? And I know the person who asked this, and she just had her 3rd too, so I'm sure she's wondering, and I know she has a business as well, so I'm sure she's wondering, like, how do you do it and balance everything? I think that's like the question we all want to know, right? And I'm gonna tell you honestly, like, nobody does it. I feel like if I'm like crushing one area of my life, then the other area is, I'm just like failing in other areas. And if someone looks like they're crushing it, they've either got a lot of help or, you know, something. Their situations just can't be compared. I do a lot. There's a lot of, I have a lot of things on my plate, which I don't think is anything to even brag about. Matter of fact, I think that I need to take things off my plate. Like I said, I'm a mom of 3. My husband works a ton, especially starting now in the fall. He has a 2nd job. He's a teacher, so he has a 2nd job to supplement our income. Sadly, I won't even get off on the topic of teacher pay. He's gone a lot in the fall, especially all the way until about February or March. So I do the parenting pretty much solo those several months. But it's been like this since we've been married, so I'm kind of used to it, but it just gets harder with each kid. And then I have this, I have 2 Etsy shops and a blog, which I've kind of honestly just let fall to the wayside just because I don't have time. And then I have this YouTube channel, which I love all those things that I have, so it's very hard for me to like drop one of them. But I do have to, my Etsy comes first because that's what makes the most money. That's what I know how to do well, the best. That's what I know how to do the best. That comes first, and then with my businesses, and then you know, the blog and the YouTube channel. They kind of go hand in hand, but those come next. So Anyway, how do I balance it all? I mean, I just do the best that I can. As far as like physically organizing things, I have a planner, which I have a video that I already filmed, but I haven't been able to get it edited and up. But yeah, I mean, like in a nutshell, I basically do momming all day, and then at night I work, and I don't get a lot of sleep at all. I'm not even kidding, I probably am like 4 to 5 hours a night, which is starting to really catch up with me, and I'm realizing I cannot do that. I cannot keep up with that anymore. I don't know, I'm gonna have to figure out something else because I just can't. I can't do it. It's just not healthy. So I don't know. You know, my first job is being a mom, so I'm going to focus on that the most. I mean, when kids need you, you can't like just say, oh, I'll just put that off until I can get to them. You have to tend to them. I pretty much do that all day, even during her naps. I've got the other one at home most days. I do sometimes take advantage of one of her naps if I can, but other than that, yeah, I just feel like I'm drowning all the time. So I don't know if you can relate. Comment below, make me feel better, please, because I feel like I'm starting this out like as a hot mess. But anyway, let's move on. So how do I balance it all? I don't. I just try the best I can. I do work at nights though, to get stuff done. Okay, where do I shop for clothes? Target and Old Navy are the two places I like to shop for clothes. I feel like the last Okay, she's playing with Legos. We'll see how this goes. So like I said, Old Navy and Target. I have been pregnant or nursing for the last almost seven years, plus years. And so I feel like those two places, especially Old Navy, have really good postpartum, in between, pregnant, all that type of clothing. So I really like that, those two stores. What is Brielle's feeding schedule look like? How much and when, including solids? So like I said, she's 11 months. She basically has 4 bottles a day when she wakes up, after her first nap, after her second nap, because she has to sleep she has to take her second nap pretty late because of the boys' schedules. So it just depends on when we get home, but usually it's before. Her second nap's at 3 to 5, and so usually she eats or has a bottle before that, sometime, or really 3:30 to 5. So we have a bottle before that, and then when she goes to bed, she has 4 bottles, and she has about 6 to 7 ounces each, but she rarely finishes those bottles. And then she eats in between each of she has like her breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and she's a pretty good eater right now. Yeah, she loves PBJ. She likes chicken. She loves the baby food pouches. They're just so expensive, but she loves those, and vegetables and fruit and all that stuff. So she's a pretty good eater. But yeah, that's kind of her feeding schedule right now. She eats about an hour after she has her bottle, but honestly, her being the third kid, she just like eats whenever I can feed her. I literally had to go to I'm not like a baby-led weaning person or anything, but I had to go to just like feeding her solids because I didn't have time to sit down and feed her baby food with a spoon. So I was like, you're just gonna get some food. So anyway, number 3, you guys, has really thrown me for a loop. I felt like I had kind of my life under control a little bit with 2. And this third one is just like, I can't get it together. I don't know if it's because she's still a baby and I just forgot, but yeah, I just feel really really out of control and overwhelmed. But I know this will pass. I'm just going to do the best I can and get through this season of life. And I shouldn't say get through because I don't want to just watch it pass by, but just do the best I can in this season of life. And I know it's going to pass by. I can already see what people say when they say, enjoy what you have now because you're going to miss it. I'm starting to see that. Yeah, this is what it is. This is 3 kids. This is life. And this is our life. This is just how it is, and I absolutely love it. But it's a lot, and I struggle to manage it all. Does Etsy's, this is kind of a budgeting question, kind of personal. Does Etsy supplement your income a lot? Is it worth time spent? I guess that's all relative because it may be a lot to some and it may not be a lot to others, but yes, it supplements our income to be worth the time that it takes. In all honesty, for my printable, I have two shops, a printable, printables, it has coffee mugs in there as well, and then t-shirt shop, which just opened. So when you opening a new shop, I'm spending a lot more time than you're really making, if that makes sense. But that's just business. So it's a lot of like upfront time, but it should lead into passive income. So once somebody orders, it's very passive. So that, you know, but it takes a lot of time to set it up. And then my printable business, I spend, for the amount of money that I make, I spend a very little time on the actual products that are being sent out to the customers. So it's definitely worth my time, but I'm of course trying to grow it and just increase my income, of course. So it's definitely worth the time. If any of you are like, I don't know if this person's like questioning an Etsy business, but I think it's well worth it. Like I said, my husband's a teacher. He also has he refs college basketball. And my Etsy shop allows us to kind of to pay our bills a little bit more comfortably. It also lets me kind of live somewhat of the lifestyle that I want to live. And that is not extravagant whatsoever, but it just lets us kind of sit a little bit more comfortable. We're not so stressed about the bills that month. And I'll explain kind of our financial story here in a little bit. But yeah, that was a good question. So I definitely would encourage someone to do it if you're contemplating an Etsy shop. What's the hardest and greatest aspect of having 3 kids? Okay, well the hardest obviously is I feel like I'm just very overwhelmed. I feel like I cannot like keep everything organized, and like I forget a lot of stuff. And I don't know if that's just because I have a lot of other things on the side. It's not just my kids, but it's just a lot. Like my brain, I feel like it's just gonna explode every single day. And the logistics, when I had Brielle, I had her in October, which like I said is when my husband works a lot, and my first had just started kinder. So if you're a kinder mom, or if you're a school mom, you know the back and forth of travel, of going to dropping off, picking up. Then you have a preschooler, dropping off, picking up. In between those times, the logistics of 3 kids was insane during that really this whole first year has been insane, except for the summer. But it's slowing down a little bit, but it is still very like, even like her naps, I want her to get to 1 nap so bad so I can just have her in the middle of the day and not worry about like cutting off her nap. Is she gonna get enough sleep? Well, you know, so yeah, it's just a lot. You moms with 4 kids, 5 kids, 6 kids, like I honestly do not know how you do it. I really don't. Okay, and then the greatest aspect of having 3 kids. First of all, I love our situation, 2 boys and a girl. I 100% thought I was gonna have 3 boys. I really did. I was fine with it. I really was, because I told myself, hey, if we get pregnant with a 3rd, like, are you okay if it's a boy? And I was, obviously. We decided to get pregnant, and I had this like gut feeling that it was a boy. And then when I went into my sonogram, I told her I didn't want to know, obviously. I was looking at the baby, and I could have sworn I saw a boy. And I have 2 boys, so I was like, that's a boy. Like, that's a boy. And so I thought, oh my God, I'm having another boy. Like, I couldn't believe it. I thought that from the beginning. So then seeing what I thought was a boy, I was just like, we did the gender reveal, and I thought, okay, we're gonna find out it's a boy, like confirm it. Then I can like start doing all the things I need to do to get ready for this baby. And so needless to say, I was super shocked when we found out that it was a girl. And I have the video here on my YouTube channel. It was before I started YouTube. I don't even know how the video got up on YouTube, but it's there. It's like really not good quality. It's not planned out or anything. It's just literally my friend filming it. And it's just amazing. I love watching it because it's just, I was in 100% shock. 100% shock. I couldn't even really get excited because I was like, wait, what? Like, there's no way. There's no way this is a girl. I love the dynamics. And then one of the main reasons we decided to have 3, I grew up with 4 in my family, and so 2 just seemed very, it just seemed small to me. I love the possibility of having like a large family in the future with like grandkids and everyone coming back and dinners, and I love like a lot of people. That's kind of like was one of the main reasons that we decided to have a third. And we're in the very hard phase right now of 3, but it just feels so, I feel so like proud to have 3. I don't even know if that's like the right word. I just feel very, I'm just so glad we did it. I'm so glad we did it. My brain kept telling me like, don't have 3, like it's gonna be a lot. Brielle, And it was 100% right. 3 is so many. Brielle, no. Come here. It is 100% hard, but it is so worth it. Like I'm not a baby newborn person, and I'm obsessed with her. Like I'm obsessed with you. Yeah, can you say hi? Say hi. Okay, you guys, so I'm back. That was not working. And honestly, I thought about leaving, like starting all over and leaving out the beginning part where it was rough. But I just decided I'm gonna leave it in there and just continue on with my Q&A so I can get this done with and hopefully answer all the questions. So anyway, here we go. Okay, the next question was tips on disciplining toddlers. Probably the biggest tip I could give is just to be consistent. Now having a almost 7-year-old, I would say just be consistent. Know your kid. What works for my firstborn definitely does not work for my second. So you just kind of have to know their temperament, their personalities, what gets them to behave, and just kind of, it's just a learning game. But I would say the number one thing that I would say is to be consistent, because it will pay off. Even if you say it 1,000,000 times, it will pay off. Then, do I still clean on Fridays? This question was asked by, I'm assuming, someone that follows has followed my blog for a while, because I used to do that a couple years ago. I'll leave the blog post below, but I used to clean on Fridays, and this was even when I had 2 kids. I saved a majority of my cleaning for Friday. Like I made sure, like I like my house to be all clean at one time, which is really hard with kids. But Fridays I would do something fun in the morning with the kids, and then I would come home and clean for a couple of hours during like rest time, movie time, and then we would go out to eat that night if it wasn't basketball season, because my husband's usually reffing on Fridays. But I do not do that anymore. I wish I could. That is like, for some reason, something about Fridays. I don't know if it's because it starts the weekend. I grew up that way. My mom didn't work on Fridays, and so we would come home on Friday afternoon from school, and the house was spotless, and dinner was going. I loved it. Like I still remember that so vividly. And so I don't know, I love cleaning on Fridays, but no, I do not do that anymore. I clean pretty much as needed. Which is every day, all day. If you're a stay-at-home mom, you know that you just clean all day long, all day. I'm pretty sure I clean a good 2 or 3 hours a day, and that's just, I feel like that's just clean, like picking up and like having the dishes done and maybe the laundry done. I'm pretty much I'm on top of laundry. I will say that. Like that's one area I don't slack in. Don't worry, there's plenty of others. But yeah, I just kind of clean as I always. You guys have seen my night cleaning routine. That's pretty consistent with the kitchen, living room, and breakfast area. That's usually something I do all the time. And then we try to clean the boys' bedroom before they go to bed. But other than that, I mean, the deep cleaning, it's just like if I see it's really bad, then I do it. But hopefully I'll get back to the Fridays because I really liked that. Oh, next question. Will your family move to another house? Will you go to the country, the suburbs? Will you take on debt? If so, I thought this was a really good question because so basically, if you're new to my channel or you have not been a blog reader ever, then we paid off our house in the beginning of our marriage, so we have no house debt. We have been here now we've been married for 11 years, and my husband bought it the year prior to that, kind of. And so we've had this, come December, we will have had this house for 12 years. And we have not been paying any payments on it for, what is that, 9 years? Almost 9 years October, because that's when we paid it off. So we haven't had a house payment in 9 years, almost. So that makes it very tempting to never move because our house is free. Like, all we do is pay taxes and our HOA. It's free. It's so hard to want to go anywhere else because, yes, answer your question, if we move, we would take on debt because our house, you know, if we were going to do a lateral move, we might as well just stay here and I mean, I guess we could pay the same in another house, but the great thing about our house is we will get a lot of money that we just earned, minus interest and everything. We will get a ton of money that we earned on this house, but then we just have to turn around and buy something expensive unless we decide to move out in the boonies where it's cheap, and we're not going to do that. So we will definitely probably stay in the city that we're in, but it will be probably, the houses I'm looking at are about 150 to 200,000 more than what we have. But I mean, I would love it if it was less than that, but that would make it worth it for me to move, because otherwise we might as well just stay here and not have a mortgage. The area is great. Like, there's nothing really wrong with the house. It's just getting small with 3 kids, and I'm ready for the personal little touches on it, because I've had this since I was 22, this house. So this house is great, and honestly, like, we both grew up in houses like this, so it could be forever home. I don't want it to be a forever home. We definitely want to move, but we just have to make sure that we have the money to pay for the mortgage. So, and we've also thought about renting our house out now that we have and letting this payment be part of our house payment. But that's kind of all up in the air. We're just working on getting our income up so that we can have the possibility of moving. And then will we go, I kind of answered this, country versus suburbs. We just, with the schooling here and everything, like, it's just a great city, and you know, it would be suburbs. I love the idea of the country, but then number one, there's nothing around here. There's one neighborhood around here that's country inside the suburbs. It's my dream place to live, but it's way too expensive. So yeah, probably suburbs. All right, and then next question, how do you curl your hair? I'll have to do a video on it, but I use a curling iron, and I just curl away from my face, and I kind of leave the end out a little bit. So maybe I'll do like a video on that, but I just use a curling iron. I've used a wand before, and it just does not look good. My hair it wasn't good. So, and it's like a cheap Conair curling iron. Okay, so that was kind of it for the personal ones. Okay, so now I'm going to get into the finance questions, budgeting questions, and I'm going to try to go through these kind of quickly so this video is not really long. Yeah, so here we go. Do you ever feel deprived on your budget? Yes, I do. I feel deprived often on our budget. We are very strict with it. Our non-negotiables are like, those add up super quick. Our savings, which is a ton, like our retirement savings, obviously like the bills like taxes and, you know, all the other bills that come with it, those add up really quickly, and then, you know, whatever's left is what you can, you know, kind of have fun with. But yeah, I definitely feel deprived on it, but I don't feel like woe is me on it. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, that's just the truth. I wish I could be like, no, it's great. We pay. I feel like sometimes people think that people who have paid off debt or who are debt free, like, are just free to do whatever they want. Like, people are so surprised when I tell them, we can't afford that, we can't afford this, we can't really move into another house right now. And they're like, well, how can you not move into another house? You don't have a house payment. Like, you must have so much money left over. And we don't. We just don't. There's no pressure really on us. Like I don't ever feel scared for the future at all. I don't feel scared if something were to happen to Ryan's job. I don't feel scared if something were to happen to Ryan or to me. Like everything is set up so beautifully, but you know, it's hard to stay within budget when you see what's around you. So anyway, I do, but you know what? That's being a grown-up. If you go listen to Dave Ramsey's podcasts, and you will feel better about your budget if you're a tight budgeter. Let's see, how do you save for retirement? Will government have Social Security in 2034? And this was in regards to an article that was on Social Security and how it will be non-existent in the future. So they were asking me like, how do you save, and like, basically, are you going to rely on Social Security? I don't know much about like government finances and all that, like stocks and all that. But I will say that I don't think Social Security, I think that, yeah, I would not put all my eggs in that basket for sure. Even if you did, it's still not. So I don't think that that is a good retirement plan. But I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I would not be surprised if it was non-existent. And how do we save for retirement? We do a Roth IRA, and then we have some life insurance, and of course we have our savings, but that's not really retirement. We work with a wealth advisor who basically tells us where we should be putting our money based on our income and based on like how we want to retire. So we just listen to what he says. He's the one that studies it. He's the one that knows what's up and down. He knows the patterns. He knows everything. So we just listen to what he says, and he gives us advice on where we should put our money. And in addition to our Roth and our life insurance and some savings, we are part of TRS, which is Teacher Retirement System. And I think I have like a few dollars in it. I'm just kidding. It's probably more than that, but that's nothing. I used to teach before I stayed home, but my husband obviously is a teacher, and so you pay into TRS instead of Social Security. So the TRS is actually a pretty good retirement system. I don't really know what the math is on it. I think they take like your top 3 years. I don't know, something like that, the average of them. If you're a teacher and you know, comment below, but they take whatever it is, they take the average of it, and that, like, I think it's like, I don't know if it's like 80% of that or something. That sounds really high, but it's pretty good. I will say though, when you do the math and it comes out to whatever it is a month, it sounds nice now, but inflation is going to be, I mean, you have to think about inflation. So we definitely don't want to just have TRS and just have that only. That's why we have our Roth and life insurance as well. I mean, we're going to have costs like medical costs, just like pure living costs, just to live, college, which we have some other stuff for that too, but we'll have college, we'll have, like I said, our living expenses, medical costs, just there's going to be a lot more than you think in the future that you'll have to pay for. So, and we just want to have we want to enjoy it. We want to be able to travel. We want to be able to give it away. Just be able to gift things for people, and just be at that place in our life where, you know, someone needs a car and we're like, okay, we'll help you get a car, or, you know, just giving to our church and being able to fund things that they need. We really want to be at a place to just give it. And so that's kind of our plan right now. But those are the different ways that we're saving for retirement. How do you stay motivated financially? Definitely thinking bigger picture in the future, talking to my husband, and listening to Dave Ramsey. Those 3 things keep me motivated. But I am definitely more of a enjoy the moment versus my husband. Not that he doesn't want to enjoy the moment, but he's the smart one. He's the saver. And it gets really hard because sometimes I'm like, can we just go spend all our money? Who cares? What if we die tomorrow and we have done all this? You know, I don't know. Here's the deal. most of us will retire. Statistics show most of us will reach an age of retirement. So we just have to plan like that and trust that God is going to bless that, whether our lives end tomorrow or we retire with our plan. We're being prudent with our money and he calls us to do that. And so, you know, that's how we roll. What kind of things do you do to save money in regards to beauty, skin, hair, clothing? And another question that went with this was, do you allot monthly, weekly budget for this kind of thing and have personal fun money like hair and makeup and Starbucks and all that stuff? So what kind of things do I do to save money? This changes with each season. Okay, so as you can see, my hair is really blonde and my natural hair is really brown. So I have to go like almost every 6 weeks to get my hair done. It's really expensive, but it's one thing that my husband and I just thought was worth it. We might get to a point where we're like, nope, not worth it. I mean, it's expensive. So it's kind of like, sometimes I'm like, man, I just wish I could go back brown. I'll have to insert a picture up here of my brown hair, but I look completely different. Some people love it brown. I like it blonde so much better. But anyway, we know what that's going to be each month, so we just allot money for that each month. And we also allot money for pedicures every month, but I have not gotten them since February because I had ingrown toenail surgery, whatever, and I just haven't been able to go back. It's still really tender, so I just haven't gotten one, which has saved us about $35 a month. But yeah, we just save it, and we just kind of like take it month by month and see if it's worth it, because that is an extra. And these are some of the things that my Etsy shop kind of allows me to do a little bit more freely than if I wasn't making some money. So as far as like, I would say hair, pedicures when I can get them, and then like makeup, I'm just really basic with makeup. I don't spend a huge ton of money on makeup. I get drugstore makeup. Every now and then I'll spend some money on a good product like, I don't even know, like purple shampoo. I'll spend, I think it's like $13 for a bottle of shampoo, and which I guess may not be expensive to some people. That's kind of expensive to me. And then there's a really good self tanner at Ulta, St. Tropez. It's the best, but it's expensive. So I kind of go back and forth between the cheap one and that one. But yeah, that's just kind of how we budget for it. How often do you and your husband go on dates, and how do you budget for them and manage the scheduling? And she was asking in regards to like the scheduling of when we leave the kids for the babysitter. So how often do we go on dates? I don't know, once a month maybe. I wish it was more. I wish it was like every other week at least. That would be ideal for me. But probably once a month. We do have a community group where we meet as just the couples, and sometimes we will go to dinner after that, but that's kind of, even though we're with a group, that is kind of us time. So yeah, we probably once a month. And then we are like a movie and dinner type people. We love it. That's our jam. Every time we go on a date, most of the time it's a movie and a dinner. Budgeting for it, we have an entertainment budget. And then, what was the other part of that? How do we manage scheduling? We always do it at night, so that's the easiest time for the babysitter, which is our in-law, like my mother-in-law and my mom. And yeah, we just try to do it at night so that we have everything like set out, their dinner ready to go. They can do a bath if they want, but it's very routine at night. So it's dinner, bath, play in your room, bed. So sometimes a movie if we've left a little bit early, whatever. I feel like that's the easiest time to give babysitters instructions. So that's what we do. And I think this is the last one. It was a big one. What are your financial plans? Our financial plans, well, we have a lot of financial plans, but I guess I would say our current financial plan is to increase our income, and probably our next, our next big purchase is a car for Ryan. In my mindset, we're saving for a house. So, and that just comes with an increased income. So that's kind of our plan right now. And then future, same thing as we've been doing for the last 11 years. And that is just saving for retirement. And I guess our retirement plan is like mid-50s, 60s to retire. But you know, we'll take that year by year, and who knows what life's going to be like in that time frame. But yeah, that's kind of like our initial financial plans. I don't know if that really answered your question, but anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. And thank you guys so much for asking all these questions. I feel like I was really all over the place in this Q&A, but you know what? That's kind of me, all over the place. And hopefully that wasn't terrible and I answered some questions. So if you have any more questions that you want to ask or want me to elaborate on, just leave a comment below and I'd be happy to do that. And make sure to subscribe below. I would really appreciate it. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers. I might be by the time I post this, but I do plan on doing a giveaway once I reach 1,000. But yeah, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one.